Okay guys, well, we have continued to see more cold weather events in the northern hemisphere and more severe heat events in the southern hemisphere. Now, before we have a look at how this energy is translating to the physical environment, let's just look at the data. And we have seen somewhat of a lull in the X-ray flux, though we did see a spike a couple of days ago in the C-class range. We also saw a disturbance not long after this C flare. We've also seen gamma ray bursts from Virgo on the 4th. Unfortunately, this website is not giving me the latest information on the 2 gamma ray bursts we've had on the 6th, but my ever vigilant group members have actually screenshotted that we did have 2 hits on the 6th, one from Tucana and one from Sagittarius. So we have to understand that this is also influencing everything in our physical environment. In fact, it's influencing everything on all the causal planes. And we have to account for these influences in the macrocosm and understand that we're at a time of the cycle where other influences are also factoring into our experience as we move towards Ragnarök. Now, we have seen 2 volcanoes erupt on the 4th of February, the same day we experienced the gamma ray burst from Virgo. We see these 2 volcanoes in Mexico waking up. So the giants are definitely awakening. And not only do we see these 2 volcanoes in Mexico awakening on the 4th, but just as we have seen, we had 2 gamma ray bursts on the 6th. And now we see that we have another volcano also awakening over in the island of La Reunion after 3 years being dormant. So we really are seeing the polarity of fire and ice. Extreme cold weather events. We had Cumbria experiencing a cold snap and Whitehaven Harbour freezing overnight. Again, it is not to say these events have not occurred previously. It is to say that these events are occurring more often. These are no longer anomalies. They are becoming something that we experience more often. Heat waves and fires down in the southern hemisphere. We have towns on alert. We have massive fires down the bottom of Western Australia. So again, seeing this extreme in the southern hemisphere with the heat when we have the northern hemisphere with the cold. Now, for anyone wanting to see more of these events and understand their connections to the cycle that we are actually existing in, then I would recommend this channel, Adept 2030, and pay attention to David's observations and connections and the data that he is actually relating here with these events also. And once again, showing that these are no longer anomalies. We are seeing these events happen more often, and we are seeing the media choosing to actually not report on some of these events. And basically, if they can avoid reporting, they will. It's only when they cannot avoid reporting on these severe events that we will start seeing the media paying attention to these severe weather events. So I will link David's channel underneath. Again, highly recommend you watch this video with his observations from the beginning of the year. and the connections with all of these so-called anomalies that we have seen with the severe cold. Well, I think that pretty much covers it. I did just really want to make a note of these continuing events and the connections that these events have with other external influences that we also have to factor in to our experience and into the cycles within which we exist. And this is why, when we understand these large cycles, we understand why we are moving towards Ragnarök. So, bringeth Ragnarök. And there ends another update. I will post all of the links underneath and you can check that out for yourself. And as always, peace out.